Welcome to League MVP. I'm your host, Bryant Austin. We're finally here, episode 1. Thank you all, family, friends, and fans, for showing so much support over the years. Without you, none of this would be possible. Bringing this channel to life has been a dream come true for me, and now we're finally here. I'm so excited. Before we get rolling, make sure you stop and hit the subscribe button below. Hit the like button on this video and comment and share this video like crazy so we can all grow together.
They treat me like a superstar. I'm looking like a superstar. Yeah. Feeling like a superstar. I play the right, I'm taking flight, and now they treat me like a superstar. I work so hard to get this far, that's why I'm feeling like a superstar. Yeah. Don't have to look up to the sky to see I'm fly, yeah, I'm a superstar. Yeah. I play the right, I'm taking flight, and now they treat me like a superstar. Yeah. Don't go nowhere, but I'm not close to it, this is no lie. Shout out the niggas, she seen it before I could see it. Before I start finding his secrets, before all this ether. I was just confident music was promising, obviously into the speakers. I never stopped going and never slowed down, the only switch gears up on them. If you hate me back then and love me right now, you must understand that I'm chosen. Superstar moment, even when chilling with stars, I'm super. Let me extend it for all you want to do.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
My guy, Marcus Elliott, one of the best players I ever played with, ever played against. Point guard from Louisiana Tech, played with Hong Kong Eastern Long Lions in the ABL, now playing with the Singapore Slingers in Singapore. So a lot of respect for this guy, true pro. Can't really say enough good things about him. Great character. I'll let him introduce himself a little bit. Marcus.
Hey, he made the introduction already. I'm from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Went to Fort Walton Beach, Florida high school. So, but my basketball journey's been a little bit of here and there and everywhere. It's still going. I was playing for the Slingers as soon as the pandemic hit, when COVID-19 started going on, and that pretty much stopped the last ABL tournament. Since then, I've been back to Uruguay. I played a quick stint with Hebraica Maccabi, and they were trying to finish the playoffs for the 2020, which is actually still going on because they had to stop the league. Different outbreaks here and there, but yeah, man, what's good? Appreciate you having me.
Hey, man, I had to have you on, trying to get a lot of guys on with similar backgrounds, that MVP spirit, which is what the channel is all about. Guys who've been through the grind, started at the bottom, made it to the top, and we still going, So definitely appreciate having you on. And we're going to shoot through some questions, if you don't mind. See how quick we can get through some questions, get to some fan questions as well. And, just play it by ear, We could be on here for an hour, 30 minutes, whatever. Okay, first question I got for you. Which cities have you played in professionally, and which cities were your favorite to play in?
I've played in a lot of cities. The first city I ever played in was Valdivia, Chile. The second one was Montevideo, Uruguay. The third one was Caracas, Venezuela. Then I played in Santa Fe, what was that? Sunchales, Argentina. Then from there, I went back to Montevideo. I've played in Acapulco, Mexico. I've played in Navalato, Mexico. I've played in Tampico, Mexico.
Man's played in all the Spanish-speaking countries.
Yeah, I played Buenos Aires, Argentina. Buenos Aires, Argentina. Formosa, Argentina. Los Andes, Chile. Singapore, Hong Kong. Base Aragua, Maracay, Venezuela, and Margarita Island, Venezuela. I'm pretty sure I'm leaving out a few.
Which city would you say was your favorite playing in, and why?
Man, I would have to say, I don't know. It's a tie. I liked Caracas, Venezuela for sure. I liked Hong Kong definitely, and I don't know, man. It's tough. I can't name it down to just one. Everybody always asks me that, but I have like a top 5, I guess, and I would have to run those top 5 in no particular order. It would be Hong Kong, Singapore, Acapulco, Mexico, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Caracas, Venezuela, and I got to throw that 6 in there. Montevideo is pretty dope as well.
Okay. I've been to Mexico. I love Mexico. I've never been to Venezuela. I always get offers to go to Venezuela, but I'm always getting that, it's dangerous over there, so don't go. But
it is.
Yeah. So, Hong Kong, though, what, for all your Hong Kong fans, I know you got a lot of Hong Kong fans over here, what do you love about Hong Kong? If you could put your finger on one thing to say, this is what I love about Hong Kong, what do you love about Hong Kong?
I love the pace of Hong Kong. I liked how they were eager to learn. They were eager to pick up, and they want to know what you're doing so they can add it to their repertoire. And it's kind of like it's not stealing, but it's like they want to adopt what you do and put it in their game, which is kind of like a gift and a curse for Hong Kong, because I figured some people will adopt what you do and they think that they have it, and then they want to go on to the next big thing. Oh, okay, I seen him, I want to go on to the next thing. But they haven't perfected one thing. As far as like the culture of basketball, as far as the city, it was a lot of things, man. It was the people, it was the food, it was the transit, the MTR, it was the climate. I love the climate. It didn't get cold like that. Like right now, I'm in Virginia, and it's snowing and it's freezing. So, and them gyms get cold in the morning. But it's a lot, man. I think also the relationships that I formed there with guys like yourself, other guys in the HKBA, other guys in the ABL, the organization Eastern, and even meeting people outside of the Eastern organization. It was just a great experience.
Now, Singapore. So you're in Singapore currently playing. How is Singapore?
I'm not actually currently playing in Singapore. I was. I left Singapore March, and I'm still in contact with the organization. Great organization, great people. But Singapore was awesome. It was a change of pace. It was much slower than Hong Kong, which I didn't really expect. The weather was great. There was no real winter in Hong Kong. It gets kind of chilly. You got to wear a hoodie every now and then. Might be a jacket or something like that. But surprisingly, the food in Singapore, the hawker centers, oh my goodness, it was lovely.
Food better than Hong Kong?
Yeah.
Better than home soul food? Oh man.
I'm gonna give Singapore some of the best food. The hawker centers, man, it's something that you have to experience. Don't get me wrong, Hong Kong had great food. Don't get me wrong, USA and soul food back home here is great. But something about the hawker centers, man, you got all these small little shops just lined up. They're just mini shops next to each other, and they're stacked on top of each other. And the thing that I love the most, you can go get prawn fried rice, and it would cost like maybe the equivalent of like $4 US, and you would get a lot, and you would eat, and it'd be fresh, cooked right on the spot. Okay, boom. But then right next door was a fresh juice bar, and I can go get fresh soursop. I can go get fresh mango, pineapple, whatever mixture I wanted, and the price of that was so cheap, but it's fresh, and that's good for your body as an athlete, man. So I was loving it.
Okay, before we get into our next question, I want to backtrack and I want to hear from you what you're doing right now during this pandemic that we got going on. Did you have any like major plans for around this period? What do you think you would have been doing if there was no pandemic? Because for me, I had big plans. The season was supposed to come up. I was supposed to be doing this with a lot of people, interviews. So the pandemic kind of shut down a lot for me, but also it put me in a position to do more. So what did the pandemic do or take away from you?
Well, like I said, the pandemic stopped the season of the ABL last March. So I think that right now, with the climate, with it being February 10th, I'd be in. I think we'd be in ABL 10 or ABL at season 11, and I'd probably be back in Singapore or was another organization for sure. And man, I'd be in Southeast Asia playing. And even if I wasn't in that market, I'd be in a different market somewhere. But obviously, the ABL still doesn't know what it's going to do. The HKBA hasn't started up. A lot of guys are still home, unless you're local. Like I'm friends with Scotty Ewing, and stay in contact with him pretty often. And man, like, he's at home. He's in the States. He's in Seattle. So I'm here. I'm in the States too, and I'm just grinding, staying in the gym, staying ready. That's a passion anyway. So regardless of the pandemic or not, I would still be working out and still be on top of my stuff.
Tell me a little bit about your journey, how you ended up in Hong Kong.
Man, I ended up in Hong Kong being a professional, knowing how to handle myself in all scenarios. Honestly, it came through Coach Edu Torres. I was playing on a team in Mexico, and I was actually in Acapulco, Mexico, and it was a first-year organization. It was kind of, how do I say this? It wasn't really organized professionally. And the venue that we were playing wasn't ready for our first game because we had a hurricane in the city, and the hurricane, destroyed a lot of people's homes. So the venue that we were supposed to play in, they housed a lot of families in there. So the first 2 months of the season, we were on the road. So we stayed like 2 weeks in Tijuana, Mexico, 2 weeks in Mexico City, 2 weeks in Laredo, Mexico. We were basically everywhere at Cancun, and we didn't play our first home game until the third month of the season. It was right before the Christmas break. We ended up having to run off 6 or 7 games in 8 days. Like no practice, just games back to back to back to back to back. And it sounds, as a player, I was, obviously I was mid-20s or whatever, so I loved it. I'd rather play than practice. But when you're going hard 40 minutes a game, that's the wear and tear on you. And we played Coach Edu's team 3 times. We played them once in Tampico, and we won. The second time they came to our place, and he, from the conversation that I had with him, he was like, man, I watched you in this dungeon of a gym, and I watched how everybody none of the other players wanted to play. They were kind of like ready to get it over with. He was like, man, I watched how you prepared yourself. I watched you go through your pregame routine. I watched how you did your ball handling. You did your stretching. You didn't talk to anybody. You were focused on your routine. And I said, wow, that's a guy that I would like to coach one day. Mm-hmm. I never knew that. I was just doing me. But one thing that people always tell you, and my father always told me, and other coaches always tell you, is if you're working hard and doing the right thing when nobody's around, when somebody's around, eventually you're going to be seen. And that's really how I got done. The next year I signed with a team that he was supposed to be coaching, but he already accepted a job in China. And from there, it was history.
that's a similar vibe that I got from you when I first started to work with you. As we both know, I was the skills development coach for the Eastern Long Lions back in, what year was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
You definitely helped us. I'd say your skills development definitely helped us win that championship. For sure.
Appreciate it. I appreciate that, my guy. Yeah, I was the skills development coach for the Eastern Long Lions when Marcus was there. That year was 2000. Time is flying. 2018? 16, 17? Okay. Yeah, but, when I first met Marcus, when I first met you, I had that same feeling that you were the ultimate example of what a professional was. You could tell that you had been raised right. The same thing that you talked about your father, what your father told you, how to prepare yourself to be a pro. My father taught me the same thing. So I could see that immediately once I watched you train. I just remember when I first met you, that's what I thought. Like, this is the type of guy that I would like to play with. I would love to play against, because iron sharpens iron, and I would love to work with. And I got a chance to work with you and saw how dedicated you were, how focused you were on the craft. It reminded me a lot of some of the great players that I've played against. And I really appreciated that. We also had some great battles, man. I remember a lot of the battles we had in practice. Me, you, Tyler, Lee Key, Sue Wing. Who else was there? All the guys, man. We used to.
Sullivan when he was there. We had EJ.
Yeah, and that we really built a culture there. Chris Barnes. We built that culture there based on competitive spirit, grit, work, no excuses, all that good stuff that you throw in a pot and you make a great team, which is why I love to be a part of it. We also had some great battles in the HKBA when I played against you, which I was so looking forward to playing against you in the HKBA because I already knew what you was going to bring, that toughness, that banging guys around and, the mental games. That's what I love to play. That's why I love playing basketball in general. You know what I mean? And that's what you gave when I played against you. What do you remember about those times when when I was with Eastern and the games that we played?
Man, Eastern, I remember starting off the morning when you would have us doing single dribble, double dribble, triple dribble moves off the cone into a shot, and first one to make 5 wins. Everybody else has to do push-ups. Yeah. Creating that competitive atmosphere within your drills where you had to focus on you actually scoring the bucket versus people going through the motions and, hey, hit 20 as a team.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a team thing. We all have to hit 20. Well, you can have one player hitting 10 shots and then a couple other guys hitting a few, and then that makes 20. And then you got 6 other guys that don't hit no shots because they really don't care. They still sleep. They're still waking up.
Right.
Now, if you're in here and you got to be the first one to make 5, yeah, I win. I'm ready to work. All y'all go ahead and do these push-ups. Stuff like that creates that competitive nature, which is a skill that you also have to exercise that skill. You have to exercise competitiveness, and you got to find ways to do it. And I don't know if you were doing that intentionally or if it just so happened to work out that way. But I know me, Tyler, Leaky, and a couple other guys that were on the guard side because you just strictly dealt with the guards.
Yeah.
And I just remember the ball handling and going into the moves. It felt like you had my handle on a string. You know what I mean? Just the drills that you would put us through. And I was kind of upset that they didn't bring you back for the second season and then ultimately the third season because it showed on the team where ball handling was concerned.
I would watch your game, Tyler's game, like old games like from when you played in Europe and all these other countries, just to see how I could help you. How I could help you with your dribble, with your timing, and then try to pour some stuff into you that I would want for myself. You know what I mean? Things that you already had to sharpen them up. It was usually sharpening tools with you because you already got, you know, a pretty full bag of tricks or whatever. So with you, it was more like, how can I sharpen him up? You know, like you said, get your ball handling a little bit tighter. So when it came to the game in those tired moments, you know, how could you push through? You know, these type of things as far as what the training goes.
As far as the HKBA, I remember dropping 30 on your head the first game.
You had
I had 31.
Hold on, what I had? You had 30. What I had to have 30 or something.
You had I think you had 23.
Okay.
I think you had 23, or it was 23 above. I know I had 31, but I was hot. You know what I'm saying?
No. Hey, you know what? I remember because you came out and I could have swore, I don't think I was guarding you to begin with. Somebody else was guarding you and you was killing. Like, you know, just killing.
I know Tyler was in the stand, and I was trying to send a message to everybody. I was like, yo, I'm playing against Bryant, Buddy watching. Yeah, it's time to get big.
Yeah. You was killing in the beginning, and I'm like, man, and I remember I eventually had to switch over to you. I think I got a couple foul calls, but yeah, man, I wish we could have had more battles, man. Like, always like, man, these guys in the NBA get to play 82 games, 6-7 games against the same guy. Like, that's love, man, to play against the guys you respect, man. I would have loved to play against you like 10 times and had this whole legacy of our games, because those would have been some epic games. But I definitely love those battles, man, and how physical it was. A lot of guys don't like being physical. I remember us. Anytime I walked past you, I had to give you that chicken wing. Anytime I came through the lane, you would, bump me in the chest or something like that. And, that makes the game so much tougher, but at the same time, you love it. You know what I mean? I can't explain it, but I love that, we weren't talking trash to each other. We might have said a couple words, but it was no trash talking. It was all, straight work. You know what I mean? We was talking through the game. So,
sometimes you got to be careful doing that, because somebody that's asleep in the game or not playing well, you mess around and walk past them and bump them. That might be the thing to wake him up.
Right.
Like, so that's a touchy thing. Like, if he's having a bad game, you better off just sitting over there and letting him have a bad game by himself. You go over there feeling yourself, and you think you're doing something, and hey man, I'm stopping you, I'm locking you up. What? All right. That's all it takes sometimes. The next thing you know, brother had 20 points in this quarter.
Right. Who are your favorite NBA players, all time or now? And did you mold your game or like copy your game to fit any of these players?
You know what's funny, man? I was just watching some clips of old, old school players or whatever, and Allen Iverson, Nick Van Exel, Gary Payton, Jason Kidd, Baron Davis, Jamal Crawford. I liked oddball players. Everybody wants to say the greats, Michael Jordan and Kobe's and all that. Of course I like those guys, but those really wasn't my guys. I like the guys that people used to write off, that people would, oh yeah, he's good, but they, people wasn't really on their radar. I was that type of guy, and it was also guys that were like in college that nobody has ever heard of. Guys like Marcus Hatton from Baltimore. I can name a bunch of other guys. One of my best friends, Roland Williams. He's probably one of the best point guards I ever seen besides Sebastian Telfair, which I watched in person in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And those type of guys, I just took little things. But I like, back to what I was saying, I was watching these clips the other day, and I was seeing how guys were getting their shots off and doing certain moves, and I was like, yo, that I've seen myself do that on highlight clips when I rewatch games and stuff, and I'm like, nah, it makes sense. In today's game, my favorite players are like guys like Bradley Beal. I like what's my guy for Golden State right now? The lefty, athletic. Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
I like guys like that. It's just different type of guys that I like, and it's not necessarily the guys that everybody thinks about. I like the dudes that you notice them, you know what I'm saying, but you really don't know them.
You fit the mold of a point guard who can take a team to a championship and win the championship. You are able to mold everyone around you and put the pieces together properly and mold what's most important is mold your game to fit the guys around you, which most point guards, especially in today's game, they can't do, because most of these guys are shooting guards, pretty much masquerading as point guards. And for you, like I said, you fit those traditional championship point guards, like your Tony Parkers, your Derek Fishers, the guys who can do more, but they're willing to do less for the team to win. You know what I mean? So have you had any serious injuries before? What did you go through mentally? How did you get through them? And tell me about your injuries.
I haven't had any serious injuries. All glory to God. Thank you, Jesus. But I've had those knick-knack injuries that could be significant. It was the timing of the injuries. I remember one of my first ones was I had an ankle sprain in Uruguay, and it was during the second game of the season, and it happened in the beginning of the fourth quarter. And we ended up losing that game, and the team was a rocky team. So my ankle was fat. It was swollen. It was purple. It went from my ankle to the bottom of my calf. Yeah. And I had to get a shot or two. They told me this was on a Tuesday, and they were like, "Yo, we got a game Saturday. We don't want you to practice, but we do need you for the game." And I was like, mentally, I'm thinking all right, I can do it. So all I did to adjust was ice, rest, pray, and then just be positive, stay positive. But I also had to work through that pain. Also, I'm an import. I know it's different for me. Most locals can sit out. I can sit out a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month and nurse this injury. You don't have that same luxury as an import. That's your job on the line. So I already knew that. I had researched the information before I even got hurt, and when I got hurt, I knew what to do. So I ended up dropping 34 points on that same bum ankle the next game with the win, and that was amazing to me. All glory to God. And man, then I would say the next one, I had a groin injury. I played through 2 seasons with that, but it was a blessing because it showed me that I didn't have to be super athletic and be going off my speed and quickness and jumping all the time. I had to slow up my pace. I had to get stronger to hold guys off. I had to, get crafty and get shifty. Give an if here and make a move there. That was a blessing in disguise. But the one that I cherished the most was after the second ABL season with Hong Kong Eastern. We were in the HKBA, and I did something in practice before we played South China. Mm-hmm. I went for a steal in practice, and I banged my knee. And I iced it down after practice. I woke up, I iced it again. I don't know if I left the ice on there for too long or I had the wrap too tight or if it was just the injury itself. But I had trouble walking. And the next morning at shoot-around, I noticed it. I told the physio, and I was like, "Yo, something's wrong with my leg, blah, blah, blah." And he took me to the head office in the physio, and both of them told me, "Don't play."
Right.
And I'm like, nah, because, the thing in Hong Kong was South China and Wingling at that time. Eastern was nothing. And all of our guys, I knew that they counted on me. And I'm not going to say it was fear-based or if it was nervousness or worry, but I knew they counted on me, and there was no way possible that I was not going to play. I was like, no, I'm playing. And the physio, Karen, she told me, she said, "Marcus, if you play, you're risking twisting your ankle or doing something else because you can't, your leg is not functioning properly." Right. And I just wrote it off as whatever. Well, I played that game, and in the fourth quarter, we ended up losing or whatever, but in the fourth quarter, I'm still fighting to stay in the game. I twist my ankle exactly like she said it. And that made me miss I want to say the next 2 games or the next game versus Wingling, which everybody wanted to see me matched up with Tyler. Kip K. If that's how you say his name correctly, respectfully. So, man, and I remember just that whole process. And who do we get first round of the playoffs? We get them. You know what I mean? And it felt so good to knock them up and to end all the conversation, which in his own right, Tyler's a great player. You know what I mean? I respect his game. He's a professional. I love his competitive nature. But for us to beat them and knock them out of the playoffs, and I wasn't even 100% and I was coming off of an injury, was awesome. Then we go into the finals where the team that I just got hurt playing, and at that point I was kind of just like, yeah, we're here. I got the team here. You know what I mean? I could either sit down and everybody would understand because I'm not 100% or whatever, but we got down 0-2. And once it got to Game 5 and we changed the venue and went back to Southern Stadium, I knew what time it was. Yeah. And shoot, the rest is history. I won a championship and I wasn't even 100%. I wasn't explosive like I was, but that's where my leadership was able to kick in, man. And I was able to instill confidence in some of my players and some of my guys. And I remember having standing up in front of the team the morning of the game, right at shoot-around. And I told him, I was like, man, primetime players do primetime things. And I'm a primetime player. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to be here tonight. And, my guys showed up with me. Some people want an easy excuse to sit down. They want to, hey, Mom, write me a note. Tell the doctor to write the doctor said, hey, the doctor said right here that you can't play. I don't care what the doctor said.
Right.
I know I can play, and I know when half the people is faking injuries. I know when you can play through it. Now you don't have to be 100%, but I know you can give something as a team. But a lot of people look for that excuse. You can hide it from everybody else, or you think you can hide it from everybody else, but you know within yourself. And people get defensive about it. Oh man, you don't know me. You don't know it. Yeah, all right. I know, but I'm gonna let you think that you're fooling me. But you're really not fooling anybody but yourself.
Usually it's always something. You got a little tweak here. Your stomach might be hurting. You're nervous. You know what I mean? You always got something going on to where you like, man, if I was only 100%, I would have had 50. You know what I mean? And like you said, I've played in games to where, I was cramping up or, I had blood clots in my lungs. I played through 2 months of blood clots in Israel. I've been in car accidents with my ribs shattered, and before you go through the game, you're like, man, it's gonna be a tough game. But like you said, you'll battle through that game, have a great game, and of course you look back like, man, if I was 100%. But in reality, it's rare and far in between when you're gonna be at what you believe is 100%. You know what I mean? You always, because when you're going through practices, you're going through wards, you're gonna get banged up. You know what I mean?
It's you versus you.
Facts. That's what it is, and that's what I try to get to my students is that it don't matter what you're going through. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do, like you said. Put get your ice. Get your rest, get your recovery. But when it's time to step on that court, there are no excuses.
When he wins, which they did win that game, but I didn't play. Oh yeah, we beat you. They gonna run and tell the story how they want to tell it.
Right.
But when we got the championship, I can tell the story how I want to tell it.
The winner gets to tell the story how they want to tell it. Going from injuries, because this is a big thing with me, and I know it is with you as well. One way that you can expedite or get healed faster is by eating a proper diet, and that might be different for everybody depending on your age, ethnicity, your activities or what you're doing. Tell us a little bit about how you eat. What do you think about nutrition? Does it help you in your training, in your games?
I started experimenting with my nutrition, I want to say the year before I got to Hong Kong. I was in in Uruguay and Argentina, and I noticed that I was eating just regular food. And I think before one game I ate fast food, and I remember being so tired in the third quarter that I was like, I could not wait for the game to be over with. I couldn't wait for the game to be over with because I knew we had a week worth of rest, but I also was like, man, during this week, I'm about to condition myself. That's all I kept thinking about was my next workouts during the game.
Yeah.
So then we had the next game after that, and I was tired again. And I was like, man, what is that? I didn't know what it was. So then I started, listening to things, doing research. And then when I got to Hong Kong, I met Patrick Sullivan and Ryan Moss, which I knew Ryan Moss in Mexico, but I was close up, more hands-on with him. And we just exchanged information. And I basically started to eat more of an alkaline diet, more fruits and vegetables. And rest is definitely important as well. Just things like that. And I noticed if before games, the night before a game and the day of the game, so I would start say we played on a Friday night, I would start Thursday cutting out meat, a bulk of meat out of my diet. Right. If I didn't eat meat, it would be either chicken or fish. Not a lot of no bread. If I had to eat anything, it would be like some pasta or some rice here and there. But I would just have big salads, and one of my best investments in Hong Kong was a blender. And I would get fresh fruit from the grocery stores or from the market, and I would put it in the blender, mix it with water, and just drink that. And that would actually be my pregame meal. And I noticed that my energy was through the roof. My focus was through the roof. So it obviously overall affected my performances. And then when I actually got hurt, that minor injury in Hong Kong in the first year, the fluky injury, because the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They thought it was something with the nerve. Yeah. Man, I really sat my butt down, got some rest, stayed off my feet, ate well. It was really like the diet, that really helped me. And fasting, not eating at all. Because when your body has to digest that food, it takes the energy to digest. When you don't have anything in your system, the body can focus on healing the areas of your body that needs to be repaired or that needs the attention. And I lost some weight, which I needed for physical battle and to be able to take some abuse and to endure some things on the court. But yeah, dieting, fasting, and sleep. Right. Was a big part.
What you put in your body, like you said, definitely helps in game time. I've been where you've been, where you in the game and just dead tired. That's why I'm laughing inside thinking about you talking about thinking about the next workout, because I definitely been there. You be in the game dead tired. I don't care what happens. I don't care about I want to win, but if we win, great. If I get 30, great. But what did I eat? Because I ain't never eating that again, especially before no game. Here is a point where you do have to worry about the future, because what you eat may not affect you right in that time or in that day, but it will affect your performance later down the line. A year from now, 2 years from now, you start to see your body breaking down. A lot of people a lot of nutritionists will tell you this is why, because you've been eating crap for, 10 years. 20 years. Me and my guy were just talking about players like this, like Joel Embiid. Why is he always injured? Why is he always breaking down? He should be the best player in the league.
He just was on camera the other day getting taped up eating a hamburger right before the game.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what we point to. These are the things,
And it doesn't matter of the amount of money you're getting paid if you're on an NBA stage or not. A lot of it is your taste buds, man. Your taste buds will put you in the grave faster than anything. Your salad, the more colorful your salad is, the darker the greens, the beetroot, the red onions, the cucumbers, the avocados. You got to smash that thing full of minerals and nutrients and stuff like that to really get the most out of it. And then your salad dressing either could be just old-fashioned, just olive oil and some light vinegar, or it could be like a balsamic type of thing.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I like ranch dressing. I work hard, so I'm gonna eat some pizza. I'm gonna eat a steak. Don't get me wrong. I'm not over here like telling you this is what I do 24/7.
Right.
But I try to wake up every morning and I do put ginger in my hot water. I do have turmeric drinks. You know what I mean? I've done research on this type of thing, and people always ask me how old I am, and they're surprised when I tell them, because I don't really believe in age like that. I just number, but I'm out here spanking young boys that's fresh out of NCAA college,
right.
And they're like, "What? Oh my God! Yeah, I spend time eating right, sleeping right, and in the weight room. A lot of players don't like to lift weights. Oh, and the main excuse, it messes up my shot. Man, you can't shoot anyway. Your percentage is horrible anyway. So why?
Right, you'll mess up your little 32%.
The gym shooting shots, no way.
Right.
So why are you over here? You know what I mean?
Hey, I wish.
I just let people be where they're at. You can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink. You can do all the politicking you want. It never outbeats the work, and it never outbeats the preparation. And part of that is lifting weights, eating right, taking care of your body, and getting the right rest.
Who do you think? This might touch a few nerves if you say the wrong thing. Who do you think is the best NBA player in the NBA right now?
LeBron, bro.
LeBron?
Man, the only reason it's a problem for people is because he's been on top for so long that they just kind of ready to see something else.
Facts.
Numbers don't lie.
Facts.
Wins don't lie. People have tried to make, they've thrown everything at this man. Oh, he's playing in the East. All right, he went to the West. Yeah, they bombed the first year. Next year they won the finals. Then here's the other thing. People want to say, they really just gave Giannis, Greek the Freak, they gave him the league MVP last year only because he's going to be the future league MVP supposedly for the next few years.
Right.
They're tired of seeing LeBron. They know LeBron's supposed to be on his way out. But how many people, these same people that hate on LeBron, that don't like LeBron, these people haven't been Employee of the Month for their own job. They haven't been the number 2 employee on their own job, whether it's a desk job, whether it's, working at retail, whether it's a financial consultant, whether you work in banking. You're not even the number 2 banker at your job.
Right.
And you want to talk about LeBron. Bro, he doesn't win championships. If anything, if he's not winning the championship, he's coming in second. And you can't even come in second on your daily job. Do you know how hard that is? That's tough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no question. Now, does it look as good as it did when he first came in the league when he was young? Nah, you can see some things have diminished, but the production don't lie, bro. Go look at the numbers. You want to compare him to Jordan and Kobe and all of this? Man, stop it. Now, are there more efficient scorers? Are there better explosive scorers and, better ball handlers? And yeah, for sure. But with the total package, people were trying to talk that Kawhi BS. What happened last year? You know what I'm saying? With the Clippers. Stop. I mean, it's LeBron, hands down. And that's not me. And I'm a fan of the game. Yeah. I love the game. Is he my favorite player in the league? Is he my best player in the league? Nah, I like other people. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling other people, but I can't knock, bro.
I'm the same way, man. Like, everybody know I love Kobe. I see the Kobe jerseys back there. So I always look for that Kobe prototype. And right now, the closest thing I think to Kobe right now is Kawhi. So, Kawhi is my favorite player in the league right now to watch, simply because he reminds me of Kobe. LeBron, what? You don't think Kawhi? You don't think Kawhi reminds you of Kobe? He don't got the Jordan type game.
I say Devin Booker.
I like Devin Booker too. But I like,
hey, nah.
but Devin Booker don't sit down on defense though, like Kawhi.
Kawhi don't take shots like Booker. Kawhi not offensive minded.
Kawhi
is a great role player.
The next thing is why I like Kawhi is because, like you said, where he started from to where he is now is like night and day. He started off as a super role player, like a KCP, Danny Green type player.
Because of the system he was in.
True. But he also, when you saw him, he didn't have what he has now. You can tell he put in a lot of work with his shot, with his handle, with his confidence, all that type of stuff. He's come a long way. Even with with speaking in the public. Before it, he wouldn't have done any of the stuff, commercials and all that stuff. So I really respect that with him as well. But like you said, Kawhi is probably my number one favorite player in the league right now, tied with LeBron. LeBron always been like my second, third guy in the league when even when Kobe was around. But man, what LeBron is doing is you can't really knock anything. The only thing you really can say about LeBron is his free throws ain't 90%, but he's still gonna win the game no matter what. But what he's doing is people are really the haters are missing out on a lot of joy for themselves. When I watch LeBron, like I get joy watching LeBron.
LeBron, this is my thing. LeBron threatens a lot of people's childhood.
True.
They grew up watching Jordan. They grew up watching Kobe. They remember being on the couch with their father and their mother. And no offense to anybody, with all due respect, if your mother and father has passed or, the loved ones you were with when you witnessed this great on TV or whoever's house you were in that you had cherished memories, you don't want to place LeBron over that.
Right.
You don't want to do that. And people ain't thinking about it like that, but I am, because you out your mind. If you not looking at the stats, check the stats. And then wrong, going 6 for 6. I think Jordan stepped out, and this is a whole other conversation. We getting kind of off the question. Jordan knew when to retire. He knew he couldn't sustain that, regardless of what the Last Dance was all about.
Yeah,
that was great to goddamn go with the you know what I'm saying, the mystique of Jordan.
Yeah.
But that boy knew he couldn't sustain that no more. He knew if Scottie Pippen dipped and went to the Pistons. If Robert Horry hadn't hit that shot with the Lakers, Kobe and them don't win that chip. Guess who in the finals? Pistons, Rasheed, Pip. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and it just so happened that everything worked out like that. But LeBron, bro.
He is basketball right now. He's been basketball for a while. And Kobe was my favorite player. People would try to come at Kobe, and the only way they could come at Kobe was by throwing LeBron in there. But LeBron was my guy too. But I always had to be like, nah, Kobe is my guy. Man. But in my heart, I already know, man. I appreciate everything that LeBron brings to the game, man. Like, he can play at all positions. His defense is top notch. When he want to sit down, he can guard anybody from a Derrick Rose type to a Kyrie to a center, basically, man. Like, I honestly believe, like you said, we getting off topic, but I honestly believe he will go down as the greatest player of all time. He put in the work, and he's done all the stuff that guys really don't want to do. Like you said, playing this long at this level is unheard of. And LeBron probably got 5 more years. I can see him playing for 5 more years, at least 3 years at a high level, man. It's just crazy. Like, you gotta respect it. Like, what do you have in your mind? What's going on in your spirit? What motivates you to keep working? I know you're a hardworking guy. What's your motivation? If you had to have one motivation, what drives Marcus? What is it?
I'm trying to prove wrong, bro. I got a chip on my shoulder. I've been having a chip on my shoulder for years. I've always been an underdog. I've always been somebody that, even the regular Joe will feel like, oh, he doesn't do anything spectacular. All right, why don't you come over here and check up and touch me? Just let me touch you. You know what I mean? Then you're going to see why. Oh, man. Oh, you're strong. Oh, you this, you that. Like, I just feel like I got a lot to prove. Excuse my language. I got a lot of stuff to prove, and you know, even within myself, like, and I want to see how long, you know, when am I gonna finally be like, all right, bro, chill.
Right.
Like with myself, like I feel like I'm always gonna be like this, even whenever I decide to stop playing the game.
Oh, you taking that? You taking this to the dirt, man? You gonna have it.
Facts.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know, I'm also not gonna be one of those people that's holding on past a certain, you know, past a certain level, thinking that I'm still here.
Yeah.
When, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen a lot of people do that, but I don't know, man. I'm gonna be competitive for life. I'm gonna stay in the gym. I'm gonna stay running. You know, God willing, as long as He allows my body to be sustained, man. I'm gonna be on it, man. But what keeps me going, man, is the underdog, proving people wrong, bro. You might have to edit some of that other stuff because I started rambling, but man, it's just proving people wrong, proving the coaches. Like, I've heard people say some wild things about me, and then like when my success has come or I've had success, you know, they're nowhere to be found. Or even some of them hop in the comments on Facebook or Instagram and be like, man, congratulations, you always did this. And it's like, I remember that BS you said to me when I was 11 years old. Yeah, so one of my college coaches, I want to say it was the start of my junior year in college at Louisiana Tech, and he asked us, he said, how many of you guys want to play professionally either in the NBA or overseas? My hand went up quick,
Right.
you know, and I believed it. And I knew in my heart that's what I wanted. But, you know, a couple other guys' hands went up. I want to say, and I'm looking around because he wasn't asking just to crush nobody's dreams and nothing like that. He kind of wanted to check where guys, you know, nature was at.
Yeah.
And I could tell some guys, it was about 5 of us that raised their hand that really believed it. But about 10 guys raised their hand out of 15 or whatever. And the other guys that didn't raise their hand, I'm looking at them like, well, what are you here for? You wasting time. And some of them were good. You know what I mean? Some of them were just really going to be there, taking up space, clogging up the lane, confusing things. And I was like, bro, if you're not trying to go to the league, if you here just for education, don't get me wrong, I get that too. Do what you got to do. But stay out the way. Let that be known early.
Right. Even
my uncle said some BS one time, and I think that's really who I do it for, to be honest with you. I had my uncle hate on me when I was in like the 6th, 7th grade. And he sat there at a dinner table and was like, oh, statistically. Well, if I was looking at statistics, I'm not even supposed to be alive right now.
Man.
I'm supposed to be dead or in jail or some stuff like that. So I'm looking like, bruh, I was so offended by that. These damn statistics and numbers. And a lot of people, intellects and business people and, you know, bankers, they go off numbers.
Right.
Man, numbers ain't nothing. You know, don't allow I'm not allowing no numbers. So let me come over here and mess up. Like, if you're a gambler, you're betting on numbers. You're betting on a point spread.
Right.
I'm the one they get mad at because I messed up somebody's point spread in life.
Right.
But I do it to be an inspiration to younger folks. Like, I do it to be an inspiration to the people in my city, the people in my neighborhood, the people that I meet. Not only for myself, man, but I do it to be a blessing to other people, man. So I got a lot of different motivating factors. I can hop on Instagram right now and look at an animal clip, and it might be a dang cheetah chasing down a gazelle, and I'm like, look how hungry he is. He trying to eat. Look at the way he tackled him and hit the ground and rolled, and he was able to endure. Look at this gazelle kick the cheetah and get up and escape being eaten. Oh my God, that make me want to get on the treadmill and go run.
I'm the same exact way, man. You don't want to see what I be watching on YouTube, just like that. Animal Planet, like Mike Tyson clips, like stuff that don't have nothing to do with basketball.
Yo, the 24/7 Floyd Mayweather's now. Javante Davis is my guy. So I'm on Javante tough. He right up the road in Baltimore. He like an hour and some change up the road. I'm watching him. I'm like, yeah. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. Tomorrow. I'm up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. What time is it right now? Right now, it's 11 p.m. East Coast Standard Time in the U.S. Bruh, I'm going to be up tomorrow at 5 a.m. getting these weights in and then going to the gym to get some shots up from 7 to 9. And my day is done. I saw a clip the other day from Gucci Man, and he said some of the realest stuff. He said, bro, I'm up early, and my day is done before 10 a.m., before people done woke up. He said, man, the compound interest on the rest of my day, you know what I mean? I was like, what? Like, oh my gosh. Come on, bro. I got to be successful. Just from the work that I put in early.
Most motivation don't last that long. You know, like you might see a clip on Instagram.
You gotta search for it. Nobody's immune to it. You know what I mean? Nobody's immune to it. Nipsey Hussle said it the best. I done went through every emotion.
Right.
I just kept going. You know what I mean? When I heard him say that, I said he articulated how everyone feels. You don't know for sure if it's gonna work out or not, but I gotta keep going. I'm not gonna quit.
I remember I had a meeting. You know, at the end of every season, you got your meeting, sit down meeting with the coach about how you did and what can you improve on. I had my sit down meeting my freshman year with him, and I told him that. I told him, I want to play overseas. So if you're not gonna help me, then I'm gonna go to a junior college and try to get to a bigger school so I can play overseas. And he didn't like that. I remember when I walked out of the office, because I told him I was transferring after that. If he wasn't gonna help me, it was time for me to go to, be around somebody who's gonna help me. I walked out of that office having made up my mind, and thankfully my parents always back me no matter what anything that I have in my head with my dreams, my parents are always do it. I remember walking out of his office. I remember looking back, through the glass, and all I see is the papers fly up in the air. We kind of talked about this a little bit. Let's get into it a little more in depth if we can. What do you see yourself doing once your playing career is over?
I'm giving back to the game of basketball, being a mentor, coaching. I want to coach at the collegiate level, D1, or even professionally overseas with guys, in a professional league somewhere, man. I actually just got a phone call from my college roommate and my college teammate, Terry Parker, who is the assistant coach at UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham. He's an assistant coach there. And the coach that I just said that made the speech, he asked one of these questions, which he didn't mean anything by. He's actually one of the best coaches I ever had. He had been on one of his coaching staffs recently, and man, he called me and was like, "Yo, Marcus, was good?" And we hadn't talked in a while, and I was like, "Nothing, man." He was like, "Hey, your name has been coming up. People have been asking about you. I'm just letting you know, giving you the heads up." And I'm like, man, that was such a confirmation for me and a blessing, because I'll definitely play this game till the wheels fall off, but I want to transition gracefully at some point. So with that being said, man, I definitely want to coach kids to help them make their dream. I don't want to be that coach that you just talked about.
Right.
You know what I mean? When the kid comes in and says, "Man, I want to play overseas," and I'm looking at him and like, "Nah, you ain't got it, because I feel like you don't got it." Nah, right. Oh, that's what you want to do? All right, well, shoot, I know what it takes. Let me give you the regimen. I'm going to give you the recipe, and I'm going to give you the secrets to do it, and have at it. Now, whether you take the initiative, because a lot of people say they want to do things, don't get me wrong.
Right.
You'll be able to tell who's going to do what, but only time's going to tell that. So I want to be in that position to help people achieve their dreams. I want to be that coach that has an open door policy. Like, if you come talk to me about something that's going on in your home with your parents that you have a problem with, it might even be a legal problem, that you can be safe to come talk to me, and I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to try to get you the right help and point you in the right direction to achieve a certain goal that you're trying to achieve. I want you to feel comfortable to come to Coach Elliott. Come talk to me. You know what I mean? I want to be that guy to help you and ease you into making the right decision and steer you in the right direction, but ultimately let you know that the decision is yours and that the consequence is also on you.
Right.
But you're not alone. And you know what I mean? Because I feel like that's how it was for me in college. I feel like that's how it was for a lot of my classmates. Also, I'm from a different era. You know what I'm saying? This was before Facebook. This is before Instagram. This is before social media. This is before internet was really blowing up like that. So, you know, I just want to be a real mentor in the game of basketball and to ultimately just touch people's lives and be a blessing to people.
I remember I had you come over as a special guest one time and train some of my kids and work with some of my students, and they really appreciated that. Like, I always sit back when that happens. I'll bring guys over, have them work with the students just to see if the kids take to those guys. And it doesn't matter if you play well or not. You know what I mean? If you can beat, it does in coaching, but when it comes to creating relationships, it has nothing to do with how good you are as a player. Can you connect with the kids? Can you connect with people? That's two different things. And you automatically, as soon as you stepped on the court, you could connect with the kids, which is rare. You know, it's rare and for people to be able to connect with younger spirits right away. It usually takes people some time, and for kids to warm up to new people, new adults. Our currency, our primary currency, is our experiences, is our knowledge of, you know, because we've been playing the game for all of our lives, so we've hoarded all of this knowledge and all of these experiences, and you know, you don't want that to just stay within you. That's how I feel. I don't want it to just stay within me. I want to pour that onto other people, you know, because I remember at one point I had no experiences. I had little to no knowledge, and people poured into me. So now as we're filling up, you know, now it's time to pour it on to the next generation of people who want to have it.
One comment that or quote or whatever you call it that sticks out in my mind that always stuck with me, and I heard it probably about 6 years ago, was from a guy, Miles Monroe. And he said when at the end of his life, he wants to be empty, and he wants to have poured out all of his experiences he wants to have given everything of himself into other people.
Right.
And he wants us to be to the very last drop, to where he's empty when he dies because he's poured it into other people. And when I heard that, and at the time, the revelation that I got for that at the time, I was amazed. I was like, dang. And like you said, people always talking about, oh, you can't take it with you when you die. Man, I'm trying to pour out this game. I'm trying to pour out this knowledge. I'm trying to give you, I'm trying to give you the tricks of the trade. I'm trying to, hey, watch out for that step over there around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Go up 2 steps, take a left, walk on 1 foot, then hop over that little leap hole. You can't see it, but it's there. Trust me.
Fan questions, okay? Question number 1, we'll do this randomly from your fans. From M Shaker 17. What is your biggest fear outside of basketball?
Not living up to my potential. Not living up to my potential, and basically that's it. And if I can accomplish something, procrastination, allowing procrastination to get the best of me.
Question number 2, who was your favorite player growing up? Like, who did you idolize? This is from Mitch Curtis, MC 2137.
It's it's a combination of players. It wasn't just one player. But the first one that I can remember offhand, there's a couple of guys. Professionally, it was Gary Payton, Nick Van Exel, and Allen Iverson. Collegiately, it was Ed Cota, Shammond Williams, and Stephon Marbury at Georgia Tech, and Allen Iverson at Georgetown. So those were the players.
How can you get better at basketball during the pandemic? What are you doing now to get better?
So I assume they're in Hong Kong and there's no courts available. And they're asking that, or something like of that nature. Man, you can get better by studying the game, watching as much YouTube film on your favorite players, studying their moves. And if you have access to a basketball and you're allowed outside, go practice those moves on ball handling. Also, you can work on your physical fitness. You can work on your strength. You can do jump ropes, calf raises, things that make yourself quicker, faster, and stronger. Push-ups. I'm sure there's a park or something, and if your parents don't allow you to leave the house, you can always find the edge of a bed to do push-ups on or do squats or something like that.
This question is from PTA Performance. Who is the most underrated teammate you've ever had?
And that guy right there, I recognize that tag, but he's one of my former teammates, and he was a good player. I think that his dream and his ambition with himself actually overshadowed the opportunity, and I think he's one of those guys that where he made the coach nervous because he was sure of who he was. But to answer his question, because he has his own academy, you need to hook up with him too, and talk to him about some things. But I would say it was a teammate that I had in Mexico and Tampico. He was a rookie. His name is Manny Hernandez, and Manny had a couple of veteran guys playing over him, just because he was a rookie in the league, and just because it was politics. But Manny was good. Manny was a workaholic. Manny to this day is in this gym. You know what I mean? Like, Manny was nice. Manny could have helped us. Manny's ego, Manny thought he was better than us. And we used to argue, but we liked it. We loved it because that's how we would have been at that age.
Right.
And but Manny just didn't get the opportunity to rock in that certain situation with us. And I wish Manny would have gotten that opportunity, man, because I think that could have turned into a championship team.
Do you still have the 18-0 season middle school championship game on VHS from Tito?
Oh, I think I do. I think I got it somewhere at the house.
18-0 middle school?
Oh,
y'all was balling.
We was them guys, yo.
Who you got? So I throw out some names, some NBA players. We're gonna focus on NBA today. Okay, who you got? Russell Westbrook or John Wall? Choose one.
Old school or new school? Oh, like
Prime.
Prime?
Yeah.
Ooh, going with.
This is a tough
That's
one.
tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's tough. I'm going with John Wall.
Man, people forget how good John Wall was in his prime, ultimate prime. Who you got? Kyrie Irving, prime Kyrie, or prime Allen Iverson?
Yeah.
Bradley Beal or Devin Booker? Somebody gonna be hurt.
Hey, that's tough. I'm gonna have to get that a tie. I can't choose.
You gotta pick one, man. Who you got? You gotta have 5 players on the court.
Devin Booker, man. Devin Booker.
Devin Booker, okay. Be booking the game. Who you got? Luka Doncic or Ja Morant?
Luka.
Luka. Who you got, Lakers or Nets this season?
Lakers.
Facts. 2021 draft, NBA draft. Who you taking in their primes? LeBron James or Michael Jordan? First pick. You on the clock.
LeBron.
Taking Bronny over Jordan?
LeBron.
Who you got? Phil Jackson or Greg Popovich as your coach?
Phil.
Who you got? You need one dog teammate. Draymond Green or Dennis Rodman?
I'm going with young Dennis, man. I'm going with Dennis, man. Did you see what Draymond did the other day?
What did he do? Oh, he shot the three? Oh,
It was
man.
8 seconds.
Hey.
Dennis knows how to shoot
Yeah.
no shots, bro. Dennis is looking for somebody to come get the ball out of his hand. Draymond low-key want to try to...
It's a new
he wanna be
age.
Tough guy, but
We in a new era.
Dennis.
Hey, fair enough. I want to
I
ask.
might take Tony Allen out before any of them, though.
For real? Yeah, Tony Allen was a dog too, man. He was a real dog. I remember he used to give Kobe fits, like some real fits, on a humble type, because he wasn't talking trash or nothing. He was just out there hustling. Where can everybody find you? Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Where you at?
On Instagram, you can find me at the number 2 EAZY, the number 5.
Or anything else you want to promote. If you want to promote anything, I'll drop it in the link. If he got gear or because I know I asked for Elliott. I see the Elliott jerseys back there. I could have sworn I hit you up and asked for one of them boys.
You say you wear an XL, right?
Hey, it don't really matter the size. I'm gonna hang it up like this.
Got one still in the plastic for you right
Hey, put my name on that boy right there. Send that boy back to Hong Kong. I need that. I want for one last thing for young point guards, whether they're playing professional or young guys playing in minor leagues, or even guys currently. Even for me, I'll definitely take your advice. What advice would you have for a young point guard looking to become a professional?
Learn how to talk to your teammates. Figure out how to properly communicate with your teammates. Figure out who can handle who you can be direct with, who you can apply pressure to, and who just needs to learn. Who just needs to learn by watching you. Be a leader by example. Because sometimes, people get tired of hearing you talk. They get tired of hearing your words. They get tired of hearing your encouragement. So I would say, learn how to communicate with people verbally, non-verbally. Know when to speak. Know the timing of the timing of speaking, and when to just be quiet and go put in the work. You know what I mean? Awareness. Overall awareness. Be aware of everything that's going on the court and with your players. And respect. Learn the art of respect. If you lead with respect, you're going to get respect. And if you lead with respect and somebody is trying not to give you respect, then therefore, some people you just got to get on. You just got to sit on their ass and make them respect you. But it's a healthy balance of everything.
Okay. I remember we had several talks over a couple bottles of wine, several nights, and that's one of the things that I picked up from you as well. And like we were saying before, is that you may not necessarily steal from somebody. A lot of times, because when you're a student of the game, you just soak it in naturally, and you find yourself using that. And I find myself using a lot of the stuff you used to talk about when it came to leadership and leading men, which can be difficult. People don't realize how difficult it is, not only to lead yourself, but to lead other men to a destination. But I picked up a lot of the stuff that we talked about from your experiences, and learned a lot from you over all those talks that we had. So the young guys are definitely going to be able to use it as well. So I know I appreciate it. I know they'll appreciate it too. Don't know what more I can say. First episode is a wrap. Marcus Elliott, make sure you guys go follow him. Drop some love and some likes and whatever y'all do on his pages. One of the best players I ever played with, I ever trained, that I ever played against. One of the ultimate competitors, true professional. You young point guards, if you guys want to learn how to play the game the right way and make it to whatever level you have in your mind, check out Marcus, look at his YouTube, contact him directly. Great guy, great player, and I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Yes, sir.